In our role at Raincatcher, when we are representing construction company business owners, when they are ready to sell their company, one of the early questions we ask them is, do they have contracts for their work? And invariably they do, because almost everything they do is contract based. Most of that even is bid based on top of that. So the question we ask them, is there an assignability clause in the contracts that you have won? Many business owners don't know what assignability is or have never considered it to be important. They just sort of skip over it when they're reviewing the contracts, because in most cases, they're fairly boilerplate contracts. But when selling a company, it can be a real headache to try to transfer an existing contract that is in the name of the company that is selling so that it can be handled by the company that is buying. And sometimes it's a scramble at the last minute for these sellers to go back to their client where they have the contract and get them to agree to an assignment to the buyer for the business. In some cases, they aren't willing to do that. And in other cases, the only way it can be done is if the entire transaction is done as a stock deal rather than as an asset deal. There are some cases where that's not a problem, but in other cases, executing a stock deal versus an asset deal can be very unfriendly to the seller of the business when it comes to their tax implications once the deal closes. So again, this is a very important upfront factor for sellers to look at, and that's whether or not their contracts have an assignability clause.